come here, you're doing podcasting now. So it's called The Stand. It's going really well. It's not competition for my podcast, which means we can be friends. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Competition is good.
Yeah.
Ask Leo. And I get out of bed early in the morning as well to do the podcast. Yeah, it's called The Stand with Eamon Dunphy. It's doing really well. But I'm sure we have a long way to catch you guys up.
Maybe
but
not.
We're working at it.
Okay, great stuff. Come here, I want to talk to you about the football panel, because in a sporting context, that's what we all know you for, and that's what a lot of people love you for, and a lot of people hate you for. Yeah. But I want to talk to you about your role on the show now. Are you enjoying it now, Eamon? Because...
Yeah.
Are you enjoying it as much as you used to? Because to me, I'm looking at it and it's like the band has broken up and there's a few new whippersnappers in here and you're having to deal with a whole new dynamic.
All bands break up and they become supergroups.
So you're happy with it now?
I love it. Did I look happy at the weekend? Saturday night?
Well, I actually, now that you say that, I have a picture of you where you don't look too happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was a stitch-up.
You look like you're at a funeral or something there.
Put the midget in the middle. No,
you look like you're at a urinal.
I was concentrating.
But it's a new dynamic now, the tactics board, and RTE are moving it on. The dynamic has changed.
Really?
You don't think so?
Well, you're the audience. You tell me. I can multitask, but I can't analyse the panel while I'm on it.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fair enough.
But do you want me to answer your question?
Yeah, please.
I love doing it. I love doing the show. It's great. We get paid for it. I'll be watching the match anyway. And so, happy days.
That's fair. That's fair enough. But your analysis...
This is a trick question, isn't it?
No,
I know where you're heading with this.
No, I'm not.
You are.
If you do.
I know where you're going.
No, but you're
you think I'm not happy?
The
Working with Liam Brady, Didi Imam, Richie Sadler.
I don't think you're as happy as you used to be.
What? And what's the other fella's name? Kenny Cunningham.
Well, that's why I wanted to mention that, because you've had a run-in with Kenny and you've had a run-in with Richie. Kind of run-in. Now, you've had run-ins with Liam Brady and John Giles as well, but there seems to be different types of run-ins. They're more, I don't know if it's the same kind of run. Is there friendly run-ins rather than catty run-ins? Is that fair? No,
they're all serious. Disagreements. I had one with Kenny, yeah.
And how do you feel about that now?
I won.
I won't say it's difficult to beat you in an argument.
No, it's not. I mean, I love working on the show. I think all the guys who work on it love it. And we're all good friends, but we all have strong opinions about matches. Everybody does, everyone here. I'm sure if everyone is sitting down with their mates, not everyone sees the game in the same way. And that's the kind of vibe, when I first started, I wanted to create. Because I was in there before any of them, and I said to the guys in sport, this is too tame. Nobody's expressing themselves. Everyone is trying to find a consensus, and that's not the way everyone feels about football or anything else for that matter. So people have different perspectives, different opinions. Say what you think.
Do you feel you still drive it like that? Because you say you wanted to create something. Do you still drive it to that degree?
I would have an editorial input, a drive, an input. What are the issues likely to be tonight? Will it be Messi, Ronaldo, or whoever we're watching?
Which it usually is.
Well, it is, but there are other things. I mean, if you're watching an English team, how is English football compared to Spanish football or Italian football? And there has to be an editorial kind of drive, an angle. What's of real interest here? And one of the things about Bill O'Hurley that was so great is that he was really a journalist who came from news and current affairs journalism, and he had a real instinct for where the story was on any given night. What is the story? What is the contentious issue? Where is there an area of disagreement? So here you had a real world-class broadcast journalist and print journalist before that. driving a conversation
Yeah.
involving me, John, and Liam, say, all of us having strong opinions, and he would be the guy who would, you know, drive that discussion.
Yeah.
But we'd have had an hour's editorial meeting before the program. So the whole approach to it would be fundamentally different to its equivalent program on an English channel,
Yeah.
where the commentary and analysis tends to be bland. For example, I'll give you a good example. No, well, it's a serious example, which I saw just 10 days ago, the Europa League final. TV3 had it. And Pogba. Now, Pogba is an issue. He's the most... No, he's the most expensive footballer in the world. Fair play to you. And which rugby club do you play for? Or to put it another way, I've got 2 Pogbas. Will you pay for them? No. So, this is the point I wanted to make. Pogba is, for 90 million, no good. He's had a no good season, and he's walking around with the UEFA Cup as if he did it himself. Now, on TV3 that night, the anchor, Tommy, who is very good, he wanted to get on the Pogba bandwagon. And Graham Souness, Brian Kerr, and...
Kilban probably, was it?
No. Neil Lennon were on. And Tommy said, vindication for Pogba. He kind of scored the first goal with a fluke. And Souness was looking up in the air, and Souness said, no, I'm not having him at any price. He's not the real deal. He's not a game changer. For 90 million, he's not a player. And he went on to say, because he doesn't have this, and this, a brain, a football brain, a touch of speed and vision, he'll never be a player. Now, that was a big, big thing to say. And I was watching that and BT at the same time, more or less. I watched a little bit of BT, you know, Owen Hargreaves. Wow. You couldn't make Owen Hargreaves up. You really couldn't. Obviously, some of you watch BT, but he can't see a top without... They think I go over the top. Well, Owen Hargreaves is way... But he just thinks Pogba's great. The panel think he's great. Now, this is the point. Souness stuck to his guns, and he was backed up by the 2 lads. And Tommy kept on and on. It went, and I actually have a Twitter account for The Stand, Eamon Dunphy, The Stand, with Eamon Dunphy, The Stand. But I'm not really in the Twitter sphere, but I just felt so strongly these guys were being kind of heroic. I tweeted, this is brilliant. And it went on. The next morning, in the Irish Times, and I thought BT were absolutely disgusting. There are 3 former players on the panel, and any former player will say, or any real Manchester United fan with a brain will say, this guy has been disappointing. And the next morning in the Irish Times, Mary Hannigan, who gets a living taking a piss out of footballers because of their malapropisms, or they can't pronounce Macedonia or whatever it is. That's their game, you know. She slagged TV3, she slagged Souness, and she praised BT for getting it right and getting in the mood. Now, that's what makes being an analyst in football or any sport, rugby, anything, difficult. Because you're going against the agenda set by morons in print, and not just her. The guys in England still haven't called Pogba out.
No.
vindication for Pogba. Now, that's what makes it difficult. So you need it to get it right. You need to have convictions. You need to know your stuff. And sometimes you get it wrong.
Yeah, and of course you
Take Ronaldo.
Well,
I'm going to interview myself.
I was going to say that with all your talk about Ronaldo, maybe you might just give Pogba a little bit more time before you absolutely slay him.
No, but I'm sure you get the point that this guy is an underachiever big time, but still no one in England has the courage to say it except Graham Souness, really.
Yeah, and you trained Souness in. Come here, you've
No,
had
we didn't train him in. No, that's wrong too. That's bullshit. We didn't train Graham Souness.
I'm only joking,
anywhere.
Eamon, I'm only joking.
He actually enjoyed it, and it did open his eye a bit.
You could tell he was enjoying it.
You can say this, and you can stay alive. No one's dying.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Graham has great knowledge, of the game and was a great player. And this idea that, I think he realized what the possibility of the job was, to be respected, at the same time to be unpopular.
Yeah. You mentioned Bill earlier on, and he had unbelievable ability to get the best out of all three of you, and you've had some great moments on the show.
Yep.
This is one of the moments that I thought was one of your best moments.
I tell you, written down almost everywhere, and certainly in the annals of football, will be tributes to this man.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not arguing for that.
This is a man who actually goes and sees sick children in hospital. This is a family man with 5 children who's a credit to his country and to his family. And I'm not going to listen to him being called a tug by you. I don't want to hear what...
Hang on a second, no, don't misquote me. Nobody is arguing that he has been the great player he is. Nobody...
I'm telling you what he is. He's a gentleman.
No, he is.
He's a class act. He's a rebel. And he stands up to bullies.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you cut that short before walking.
But looking back on all that, Eamon, and all your defence of Roy, because Jesus, you really put your neck on the line from you. You defended him to the point where you were happy to fall out with friends. You were happy to fall out with everyone. Do you regret going that strong on it now after everything that's happened?
No, I don't. No, it's what I believed at the time. And I think I was right at the time. And I think what happened in Saipan was wrong. Not from his perspective, but from the management's perspective. And I think the shame for Irish football fans, who are the most important people in all of this, is that we didn't have a team in Saipan with Roy Keane playing in it and maybe getting to the final.
Now, that you mentioned Saipan, you were obviously writing Roy's book at the time.
Nothing to do with what I said.
No. The question I'm going to ask is, how much contact would you have had with him over the course of the whole controversy?
I had a bit of contact with him because Michael Kennedy, his solicitor stroke agent, called me and said, would you have a word with him about going back?
He was home at this stage.
He was home, and also about Roy rang me to know whether, he said, there's a fella from RTE outside the gate, he said, and his name is Tommy Gorman, and he said he wants to interview me, and he hadn't done any media, and he said, what's he like? Well, I said, I think you should do an interview, Roy, and explain yourself, because it's causing, murder here. He knew that, but I think if you do an interview, because he's very engaging, and he had, I thought, right on his side. He had a story to tell anyway. And I always thought Tommy Gorman, I hadn't been obviously paying attention to him, but I always thought Tommy was like a very good reporter. He was, I think he'd been the London correspondent, he'd been the European correspondent in Brussels, and I thought, yeah, give it to Tommy, he's good. And of course, Tommy went in and milked it for all it was worth, and asked about the children. What about the children? and I subsequently had differences with Roy, but I trace it all back to that moment. That piece of advice.
Were you talking to him when he was in Saipan before?
No, I wasn't, no. But I talked to him the night before they flew. It was the night of the Champions League final, and we were finishing the book. And the Saipan thing can be traced back to Niall Quinn's testimonial at Sunderland, where Roy couldn't play, and because he had a serious hip injury that really needed an operation. He couldn't go there, he couldn't play, and someone leaked a story which ran the morning after this Mother Teresa testimonial match. Well, it was a Mother Teresa testimonial because he'd only been there 7 years, and you only get a testimonial after 10 years. But he went to the chairman, he said, look, can I have a testimonial, and I'll give all the money to charity, which is a very nice thing to do. But he leaked the thing that Roy hadn't turned up out of pique, and that wasn't true. So Roy arrived at the hotel at Dublin Airport in bad form.
And I remember
because he felt he'd been a victim of a PR campaign.
And you were seeing, I remember seeing you out at the team hotel that time. You were going, going up to his room to work on the book and stuff.
Yeah.
And were you working on the book, or were you just sitting around bitching about Mick and Niall Quinn?
No, we were working on the book. We actually worked until that night, and a little bit subsequently. So, but he wasn't in good form, no.
And what kind of a book did you have at that stage?
Well, he was captain of Manchester United, and he wasn't going to tell me, anything indiscreet. There's a rule, and I wouldn't have done it for anyone else. I wouldn't have ghosted a book for anyone but Keane. Now, he asked me to do it, Dan. I didn't go to him and say, can I ghost your book? It wasn't one of my ambitions, But he was such a great player and an interesting character that I said, okay, I'll do it. Again, money. But not... No, I mean, that's what I work for,
I was interested.
Where do you work?
Eamon, I was interested in when he did come home to Manchester and Michael Kennedy told you to ring him or you talked to him on the phone. You didn't actually advise him to go back out. You said follow your heart and don't let your heart over it.
Yeah.
Why would you not have told him to go back out? Because
I didn't think it was doable. Don't forget where we were, like 3 or 4 days before the first match. He's gone through this emotional, trauma, which he did. He was genuine. He wasn't fit. To fly back out, the camp was in, no shape to receive him. People had slagged him off, and things had been left on his seat in the bus by a couple of the players, which weren't very nice. So I said, look, Roy, don't feel compelled. Do what you feel is right. And that's all you can say to somebody when they have to make a decision. I didn't think it was on. Although Bertie had a plane on the tarmac at Manchester Airport, apparently. Yeah. He didn't buy it himself.
But I know Roy...
They had a whip round.
But I know Roy has since said on the Late Late Show... I know Roy has said since on the Late Late Show that you're not friends, and it's like a little bit childish kind of. But like you were obviously close enough friends. Were you friends then, or was it?
No.
I know you said the same thing, but you must have been aiming if you were advising him on advising him on such.
No, I don't think we weren't friends. I went. We did the job. I got him a publisher. He got a lot of money. I got some. He got a lot. But it was purely professional.
But would you have liked to have been his friend?
Not really. I think it was a compliment if someone like Roy Keane, who doesn't like media, asks you to write his book. I think that's a compliment to the work. He obviously thought my journalism was good because I got inside the Jack story, and told it, which wasn't particularly, an easy thing to do. So I think that's why. But I didn't want to be his friend. I mean, you can't be friends because what happened was he went to manage Sunderland. He started off okay. Then he started to make a balls of it. And then I was doing my column in the Star. And I said, he's making the balls of it. And Michael Kennedy rang me up and he said, Eamon, he said, He was a smoothie, you know, Eamon. It's fucking Eamon. Anyway, he said, Eamon, he said, you've had a go at Roy. I said, well, I'm a journalist. He said, yeah, but what about, I said, well, do you want to buy me? You know, if you want PR, make me an offer. So that was the last phone call I got from Michael. But it was crazy. I had to go back to my job. You can't. Now, Dean will tell you that there's a lot of journalists who do go around and they're lackeys for footballers or stars or whoever they're lackeys for. But if he paid my wages, I was happy to work for him. But the readers of the Star pay my wages, so I was working for them. You can't do the two.
Fair
It's
enough.
very simple.
Eamon, did you kind of have a little bit of skin in the game in Saipan because Mick McCarthy was manager then,
No.
and he was Jack's captain, and you know the
No.
did you like and you had issues with the setup? So like, was it part of your fight as well? No.
No, that's rubbish. I mean, I wanted Ireland to win the World Cup, and I thought with Roy.
You wore
in
a
the team-
Cameroon jersey to RTE Studios.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You said you wanted them to win.
I wanted Ireland to win the World Cup with Roy Keane in the team as the captain leading the team.
But there's 21 other players out there. Your country's out there, and
Well,
you're
if you
wearing a
look at-
Cameroon
well, if you
jersey.
look- do you know anything about soccer?
Uh,
You're a guy, man.
I'm a GA man. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know a
Okay,
lot
well,
about
well,
GA.
let me tell you what happened. In the qualifying games, one man led us right through that campaign, and it was Roy Keane. And even in the last match against Holland, although Jason McAteer scored the winning goal, Roy Keane set the tone from the start of the game. Roy Keane was a great leader, great player. And we would have had a chance with Roy Keane of going a very, very long way in that tournament. So I wanted that. Of course I did. I didn't have any skin in the game. A journalist who thinks he's got skin in the game isn't doing his job or her job.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Talk to us quickly about falling out with John Giles over all this, because like this was a whirlwind.
And Liam
kind of-
Brady.
And Liam Brady.
Yeah.
How did
and
you?
Bill.
Anyone else?
How did you and Giles make up?
That's very personal. I mean, how do lovers make up, maybe?
Who made the first move, Eamon?
Well, it wouldn't have been him. No, we've been friends for about 60 years.
But it was 2 years going into work not speaking.
No.
No?
It was 2 months.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, two months, maybe, if that.
Not talking to each other.
Kind of, I wouldn't be a sulky type, really.
They're laughing.
It wasn't really heavy. I mean, with Liam, it didn't take 2 minutes. I mean, Liam really, really, really didn't like Keane. I don't think he ever liked him, but he was really, if you heard Liam on The Last Word, which was a radio program that used to exist, What? What? It used to be on a Saturday. No, it's a Monday. Monday, isn't it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Anyway, on The Last Word, we had some big rows.
But you're very personal about Giles at that time and the John Fitzpatrick challenge and
Yes.
things like that. So that was
Yeah.
made it much more raw, was it?
No, he did it.
Right.
He didn't break his leg. He broke his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it was.
John Fitzpatrick came out, said he didn't break my leg.
And that was it, yeah. So they both kind of didn't back your story up. But anyways,
No. But John's knee did.
Come here, listen.
His subsequent career
Listen.
spent in a fucking wheelchair.
Come here. Listen, Eamon.
Oh dear, someone get me a drink. Come on.
Eamon, you've been.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with Roy.
He's the Donald Trump now, according to you.
I know. Pardon? He didn't. No. No.
Right. Come here, listen, we're after going way over time. Before we go, I have a quick quiz for you, right?
Yeah.
So I've got some Eamon Dunphy quotes that I'm going to read to you, and you have to tell me what player you were talking about when you hear the quote, right?
Yeah.
So we'll start off with number 1. He's fat and he's a clown, Bill. A fat clown for all to see.
Well, fat clown. Fat clown.
No
I know
prompts.
It wasn't Andy Reid.
No, it wasn't Andy Reid.
I love Andy Reid.
Andy Reid is a big SportsJOE Live.
Someone told me
contributor.
that he owns every taxi in Dublin.
Right, come on. Who's fat and a clown for all to see? Okay,
I don't know.
you're out of time. Harry Kewell, someone in the audience got it right. This is one I really like. His head is better than his feet. If only he had 3 heads, one at the end of each leg.
Kevin Kilban.
Okay, you're one. You have one.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest...
Actually, since he's taken up punditry, I think his feet are better than his head.
Okay, number 3. He's one of...
We're not on live, are we?
We are still alive.
Well, it's all right. He's the biggest street.
Number 3. He's one of the biggest whingers in world football. He's a bloody Egypt.
He's one of the biggest whingers.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually not one of your better ones. That's Mick McCarthy. I don't think you would have got that one. Here's an easy one for you, because beep, beep, beep is a creep. He's the man's an idiot. A Mother Teresa.
Quinny.
Okay. Next one, number 5. Beep, beep is a headbanger. He's like Paul McShane on steroids.
I can't imagine anybody being like Paul McShane.
Sergio Ramos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, number 6. Beep, beep won't be in the team at Christmas. Not in the big games. He might knock over little teams like he's been doing, but he's not a big game player.
Ronaldo.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic at the start of this season.
Yeah.
And
I tell you what, he won't be in the team next year.
And number 7, last but by no means least, that is not the arse of a 7 million player.
Come again?
That is not the arse of a 7 million player.
Yes.
John Hartson. Everybody give it up for Eamon Dunphy.
Thank you very much.
All right, Damo's in the crowd.
Hey, all right. Thanks very much for getting in touch, everybody at home. A couple of quick shout-outs. Emma Devaney, Martin Farrell, Kenneth Lockray, Paul O'Sullivan, Sean Hennessy. Thanks for mentioning that. Derek Brown on Facebook says, sitting here watching it in the Sugar Club class. Who's on their phone? Derek Brown. Where's Derek Brown? Oh, it's Ronnie Drew. Hey! Well, there you go. Nice one. And we've got 2 questions for Eamon, if that's cool. Joe on Periscope says, who is the best pundit to go on the beer with?
Ronnie Whelan.
Really?
Ray Houghton. I was on the beer with Ray the night before RTE threw me off the panel for being drunk. It's got to be Ray.
All right. Oh, sorry, one more quick one. Deco here. What was your question?
It's actually a serious football question. You were big on Juventus for the Champions League all season.
Yeah.
Were they bad in the final, or were they just showing up?
I think they were. I mean, they made a very good start. I think they were shown up because of their age, and they were shown up by a great player. And I'd also have to say that the first 2 goals were both deflections. The first deflection was actually serious because I think it would have been saved. So they didn't get a break on the night. but they didn't really. The right team won, and I backed Juventus at 16-1 early in the game. Hold on, it's not all good. No. And at the quarterfinal stage, I switched my bet to Atletico. So I think we got the right result in the end. But I mean, if you look at the last 3 matches, quarterfinal, semi-final, final, Madrid scored 12 goals and Ronaldo scored 10 of them. So this is one guy who we won't see the likes of again. Well, no, Messi is, you know, they're two great players. But for now, and Messi has done things that Ronaldo will never do. And he's been a great footballer in many ways. But you have to say that this was Ronaldo's greatest moment as a footballer, I think. Seeing them through Bayern Munich, Atletico, Juventus, scoring 10 goals. Wow.